Welcome to Ohio Tabletop Gamers. Tonight, I'm just going to share my thoughts on the Battle Tank / Tank Company Leader. Now, those of you that are new to one-page rules, new to Human Defense Force, I let you know that the Battle Tank and the Tank Company Leader are exactly the same. All the weapons, all the upgrades are identical for the same exact points. The only difference between the two is that the Tank Company Leader will get the hero keyword, which accesses the Tank Company Leader upgrades. So that's why I went ahead and put both units together tonight, because they're so similar, except for the hero and the Tank Company Leader upgrades. Very, very similar. So, as most of you have played HDF or know something about it, you know about the tanks. I mean, everybody loves to run tanks. So I just wanted to do my thoughts on it. So we're going to go ahead and start with, it's a quality 4, defense 2, it has fast, hold the line, impact 6, tough 12. For 335 points coming out of the gate. It comes with standard Nova cannon with a range of 36 inches, 1 attack, 1 AP with a blast 6, and it comes with a twin heavy flamer, range of 12 inches, gets 2 attacks, 1 AP, blast 3 with reliable, which means that you're hitting on 2s. Now, I can't say much, these are just my thoughts. So everybody that runs tanks or HDF, they have their own preference, and the way your play style and the way that you build your army is going to be unique to you. So these are just how I like to do it. Again, I'm not trying to give you advice on what you should do with the tank, but I'm going to let you know what I think about different things and what I do. So first off, if you're going to run a battle tank, I do strongly recommend that you take a Tank Company Leader instead of running the battle tank. You'll see why here in a little bit, but it is my strong recommendation since they are the same points. Go ahead and run the Tank Company Leader instead of the battle tank, unless you absolutely have a different idea on how to do things. This will save you many times by running the Tank Company Leader. So let's go ahead and get started with the Tank Company Leader's upgrades. So as you can see here, the first upgrade for a Tank Company Leader is Commander. It gives you the rapid advance buff. So you're going to get it +4 when using advanced actions. Now this is decent because you already have fast, and getting an extra 4 inches and still be able to shoot is pretty decent. So I know a lot of people usually skip over this upgrade, but take a better look at it. You're getting fast, and you're also getting another 4 inches, and you can still shoot. So this is actually a pretty good upgrade for only 20 points more. So just like you stat out your battle tank, well, you add 20 points and you can have this buff. And you can buff yourself, which is the excellent part about this. Before you do anything, you can buff yourself and get that extra 4 inches of movement and still are able to lay down fire on an enemy model. So this one is excellent, actually. So in comparison to the next upgrade, which is Forward Observer, gives you the Entrenched buff, and as you can see, as long as you haven't moved during the round, anybody shooting at you from over 9 inches away gets a -2 to hit. Now this is a good thing, but in a game where capturing objectives is the goal, unless you're running this thing as like some type of artillery, this one isn't all that good because, well, you can't move if you use it, or you don't get the benefit of the -2 to hit. So this one, I don't really understand why this one was an option for a tank, maybe for, for more of artillery, things like that. But I'm sure somebody uses this successfully. It's 25 points, so it's 5 points more than the rapid advance buff. But in my opinion, this is the weakest out of the leader upgrades, in my opinion. So this next one, Munitioner. This is the reason why you take a tank company leader instead of a battle tank. For only 35 points more than what your battle tank is going to cost you, you can use this on yourself. And you get a +1 to hit. So now you're hitting on 3s instead of 4s. This is the best. You can put this on yourself. Like I said, you're hitting on 3s now, which makes a huge difference. Hitting on 3s with your tank, no matter what reason why you bring the tank, and we'll get into that later. But this is the reason why. For 35 points, giving yourself a +1 to hit is absolutely awesome. Now, don't get me wrong, the rapid advance buff is good. But to get that +1 to hit, if you're wanting your tank to be killy, you're not running it as a flamer tank, and you're really using this tank as a backline shooter or even a mid-board shooter, this one is the reason why you take a tank company leader. It's just absolutely awesome for only 35 points more than what you were spending on your tank, on your battle tank to begin with. So now let's go ahead and look into some of the upgrades. Now these are all the upgrades for the battle tank and the tank company leader. So you can get them on either one. Starting with the Hunter missile, you can read, it's self-explanatory. It's a 15-point limited, so you can only use it one time. If you have an extra 15 points laying around, this isn't a terrible thing to throw in there, but if you need points, I wouldn't waste the points on this. Just a one attack at AP2, Deadly 3. I mean, you only get to use it one time. I know it's unstoppable, but 15 points, you can, I don't know. If it's laying around, you got extra points, yeah, this is okay. But I wouldn't actually plan on using this one. As for replacing your twin heavy flamer, you can go with a fusion rifle, the twin heavy machine gun, and the twin plasma cannons. Now, personally, I like the twin heavy machine guns. I don't know. I like the machine guns better than anything else. But depending on what you're wanting out of your tank, it's completely up to you. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. They're all different, and they all have a purpose depending on how you run your tank and what you're wanting to get out of the tank. So the next upgrade, you can add another heavy flamer, you can add another heavy machine gun, or you can add the laser cannon. Now, as you read, you can see the differences in them. And again, there's not one that's better than the other, really. It just depends on what you're using your tank for. Is it going to be a backline shooter? Is it going to be a frontal assault where the flamers are actually going to work for you better than anything else because you're using it to punch right up through into enemy units? Or the machine gun, which is what I prefer personally. The machine gun is kind of a jack of all trades of the weapons here. So it's got a good range and an AP1. So I like the machine gun, but again, it depends on what you're using your armor for. If you're planning on using the laser cannon, this one here, I definitely would advise you if you're going to run the laser cannon, because this is more of a backline shooter option. This definitely needs to be with a tank commander. You only get the one shot, so definitely you want to be hitting on 3s with this. So now we move on to some other upgrades. It's pretty self-explanatory, especially if you play HDF. You get the extended buff range, which gives you an extension on your buffs that you get as a tank company leader or receiving a buff. Since I still recommend running the tank company leader, this one I would not use unless you really, I don't know. I would be buffing myself at that 3+ or the advance, but I mean, it's up to you. The Dozer Blade, of course, is Strider, this one is important if you're wanting to run the tank forward at the enemy using flamers and stuff, or even possibly mid-level tank. This gets you through, difficult terrain. So I would recommend this one. Unless you're using your tank as a backline shooter, then you don't need it. The camouflage netting, that's pretty much for your backline shooter. So you spend an extra 25 points and you get the stealth option. So that's pretty self-explanatory. And now we get into the good stuff. So you come with a Nova cannon that has a 36-inch range, 1 attack, 1 AP, blast 6. This is really good if you're going up against, mobs, hordes. It's definitely a backline shooter type cannon with a 36-inch range. And it's not really that bad. If you know you're going to be going up against a lot of horde, this isn't actually bad. But you can, for 5 points, upgrade to a Punisher Gatling cannon. Now this one, a lot of people skip over this. This isn't that bad because you get rending. Even when you don't roll a 6, any shot that hits is still rending, so you're denying somebody their regen. That isn't bad. And if you roll a 6, then you get, the AP4. So this isn't actually that bad for 5 points. And a 24-inch range, you can still use this as a backliner or a mid-level. I definitely wouldn't use this if you were going to go up into the face of the enemy. That's definitely what your flamers are for. But it's not bad for 5 points. And then you move up to the anti-tank. And the anti-tank is definitely a backline shooter, as you can see. 30-inch range, 1 attack, AP3, deadly 6. This is what you want to use if you are wanting to take out another tank, APCs, a monster, anything big. Definitely you want to protect this tank, and you want all the advantages you can to score a hit. So definitely the tank company leader, because you're only getting that one shot per turn or per round. So you want to make sure that you give everything, the best odds. So give yourself that hitting on 3s. Now the next one is the battle cannon. Now this one is my go-to. This is the one I use the most. I love this one. 30-inch range, 2 attacks, AP2, blast 3. This is very good for backline and mid-level usage of your tank. I can't say enough about this, that I just love this one. This is very good for going after not just chaff, your horde, but it's really good for going after your mid-level troops, your T3s, right? Because the AP2 is good, against these T3s in this blast 3, and most of your T3s are coming in units of 3s or 6s if they've doubled them up. So this one is a really good all-arounder. I just like it. I like it very much. I use it all the time. Now to the heavy plasma cannon. Now this thing is a monster. 30-inch range, 1 attack, AP4, blast 6. I mean, now if you're going up against big horde that you just wanted to wreck, AP4. But on the other hand, AP4 with a blast 6, there's not many units in all of Grimdark Future that you really need a blast 6 with an AP4. Most units that are going to be 6+ are going to be defense 5s. It's just how it is. And so I think the AP4 is a little strong, but it's definitely overkill. Now if you get a big unit of T3s, 6-man unit of mid-level guys, this is good, but it's kind of iffy on this one. It's cool, AP4 blast 6, but you got to think practically. How many units are you going to be facing that have 6 or more troops in it that really need to be hit with an AP4? And for 35 points, I don't know. Okay, so for the next upgrade at 40 points is the heavy HE autocannon. Now this one is a sore spot for me because I absolutely loved the old autocannon for HDF. The guaranteed AP2 can never be beat. The old autocannon was, to me, like the go-to for anything HDF. The fact that they, in my opinion, nerfed it Okay, so I'm not even sure why they did this, because it's very upsetting, because this used to be my go-to for anything heavy, was always an autocannon, because it had the guaranteed AP2. The problem with this, and I tried it out when they first came out with this upgrade, is yes, you can get Fracture, which you could get a possibility of having an AP3, but it's on a 6 roll. That is so astronomically swingy. You know, rolling 6 dice and hoping to get a 6 or more than 6, or, more than, 2 or 3 6s. Because here's the problem. You just spent 335 points on a base tank. And now, what are you going to shoot at with this thing? Because if they have stealth, if they have, cover, or they have a mitigation, most of your hits, if not all of them, are going to be on AP 0. You're really hoping for a 6 with this, and you're paying 40 points for it. I don't understand why they did this, because this is the same as a heavy machine gun right now. If you could, just allow me a little bit of a rant with this. So if you're building a tank and you want to have a purpose for that tank, okay? The old autocannon was very good at going after your mid-level T3s and your chaff. And if you even wanted to, you could, and you had nothing else to do, having 6 attempts at another tank at an AP2 wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all. This thing, in my opinion, is garbage. This is a heavy machine gun, and if you roll a 6, you get something cool. It's too swingy, because you have to be able to know what each unit of your army is there for. What is this for? You can put a heavy machine gun anywhere you want to, in infantry, veterans, anywhere. So, and it's so swingy trying to hit a 6. It's just, in my opinion, ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know why they decided to do this instead of just leaving the regular autocannon. Maybe they believe that the old autocannon was too OP, and that's possible. I mean, it is really good. 6 attacks at AP2 is very good. Maybe that's why they nerfed it, but this is no more than a heavy machine gun, and on 6s, you can have an AP3. I don't like it at all, and it's unfortunate, because I loved running all of my armor and anything and everything as an autocannon. That was my go-to. So now I go with the battle cannon. So for the next upgrade, which is the big one, 70 points for a siege cannon, 24-inch range, which is not all that great for as many points as you're paying for. You get 2 attacks at AP3, blast 3, and indirect. Now, this, I guess, you could use with your tank commander at the beginning, where you get the 9 inches away, you get a plus, they get a -2 to hit you. But, I mean, come on, 24-inch range is not all that good. I would rather have liked to seen this at a 30 to make it more like a mobile artillery. I know we already have a mobile artillery, but it's a siege cannon, so it should have longer range than a rifle, and your standard rifles are 24-inch. So, I don't know. I'm not really big on this, and it's 70 points. It's very pricey for what you get. So, I'm not really sure. I don't ever run it. I don't know if any of you listening to the video have run this successfully, but you have support vehicles that are mobile artillery that could do it a bit better, so I'm not sure why you would put the siege cannon on the tank, but hey, whatever. So that pretty much covers the tank company leader and or the battle tank. I would strongly encourage you to always run it as a tank company leader and not a standard battle tank, just for that +1 to hit. That makes a huge difference in how you run the game. Also, I recommend using Strider as an upgrade, because this is an objective game, not a killing game. So you want to be able to get your tank, even if you kind of want to keep it mid-level to back so it doesn't get charged by enemy infantry or something. Strider is going to help you get through the difficult terrain that you may need to, to cap a objective. So Strider, to me, is a strong recommendation if you're new to the game. Now, I know that a lot of you already play HDF and you have your preferences. This is just my suggestions to new players and what I do. Also, if you plan on using the tank as like a forward attack vehicle style, using flamers and maybe the Gatling cannon, just remember that tanks are very susceptible to infantry attacks and they cannot fight back. So you got to know what you're doing if you're going to put this thing out in front where it's exposed. You're going to lose it. And if that's okay with you, that's okay. It's a lot of points. But just be aware that infantry can really put a hurting. And all they need to get is one wound on you for a morale check in melee. So don't forget that. They're going to try to shake you, even if they only take one wound off of you. If you're shaken for the next round, then you're basically useless. So just be aware of that. I think the best play for this is staying in the midfield. Get up to objectives behind your infantry or behind a screen. This is great for capping objectives. It's great for support for your infantry. If you're going to use it as a backline shooter, which a lot of people do, just remember you got to move sometime. Get those objectives. Don't always worry about killing everything. So, again, Strider is going to be a great upgrade for you on this if you have the points. But anyway, I'm very interested in hearing seeing any comments about how you run your tanks, if you run tanks. And, what style do you like or do you prefer? Which one gives you the most success? It's very interesting. I know anybody who's playing HDF, I know at least at one point in time you're running a tank, have experimented with it. So what are your likes? What is your favorite setup for them? It'd be interesting to see your comments on this, and we'll have a discussion. So anyway, that is just my thoughts on the Battle Tank and Tank Company Leader. Again, everybody has their preference, and there is really no right or wrong. It just depends on your play style. And if you're competitive or just playing friendly games, there's no wrong here. It's just what works for you. And those of you that are new to the game, you take advice from many different sources. And then not only that is once you get them on the tabletop, you'll learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So anyway, I hope this helps a little bit, especially for those of you that are just now getting started in playing. So, again, I hope you all have many wonderful games ahead of you. I wish the best for you and your family, and take care.